you taking a stand. Evidence that when you stand up, we are powerful. We are Grand Valley Students United. We are a progressive group that's working and advocating towards making our schools, workplaces, and communities a safer place to live. Students should feel safe when they are going to school. We want to prevent senseless deaths for ourselves and our peers. Earlier this week, we saw over 700 students walk out of their classrooms in Mesa County. They were demanding change. And today we are here again because we have a right to live and we should be valued. Today I would like to start with a moment of silence for all the victims of gun violence in our country. Thank you. Today, you will be hearing from youth of all ages. Our program is going to be first Kainoa Cunningham. Tiernan Boyd then will give us a musical number. Afterwards, we'll have Izzy Brophy, and then 3 elementary school students, Emma, Ruby, and Dylan. After that, Riley Trujillo will talk to us. Then Chris Dark will give us another musical number. After which Spencer Hurt will finish up the day. But remember, after this march and after these speeches are over, don't forget this. Continue to call your senators, email your representatives, and create change. For the students. This year I am a senior and I'm going to be moving on and growing up. But students, never forget that you are powerful, capable, and strong. We will be voting in the 2018 elections. If you haven't registered to vote, earlier today a student activist said our ballots will stop the bullets, and I firmly believe in that. Thank
you. Columbine High School, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Atlanta, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Virginia Tech, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Sandy Hook Elementary, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Aurora, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. San Bernardino, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Umpqua Community College, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Orlando Pulse Nightclub, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Las Vegas, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Sutherland Springs Church, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Just this last February, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High, and all we got was thoughts and prayers. Hello, my name is Kainoa Cunningham. I am 18 years old. I'm a high school student, and most importantly, I am a life that is worth something. Throughout my life, mass shootings and gun violence have been dominant figures looming over my generation, inciting fear every time we turn on the news, every time we practice lockdown drills, and at every school entrance. The issue of gun violence stems from a culture that widely accepts dangerous firearms in the hands of dangerous individuals. And the destruction it has caused is evident. The US has had the most mass shootings out of any other country in the world. Our country alone accounts for more than 31% of all mass shootings in recent history. That has resulted in the murder of over 1,000 individuals and thousands of more affected. Since the time of Columbine, before I was even born, dangerous individuals under the age of 21 have had the ability to walk into gun stores and buy firearms with the potential to hurt or kill hundreds in a matter of seconds. On February 14th, at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High, our nation, and particularly our youth, once again learns that an 18-year-old purchased an AR-15 style rifle from an established firearms store. Meanwhile, not a single person blinked an eye. As soon as he walked into Stoneman Douglas and killed 17 individuals, then and only then did someone blink an eye. How many more have to die to stop this? This most recent mass shooting has led to a nationwide response of American teens. From the inspiration of the brave Parkland survivors, Jacqueline Corin, Alex Wind, Cameron Cassie, David Hogg, and Emma Gonzalez, I stand here today proclaiming that enough is enough! Enough is enough! They have inspired almost 3,000 high schools across the country to participate in the nationwide walkout and this march. They've inspired the creation of Grand Valley Students United. Youth have taken the lead on the gun violence conversation, and it's powerful. Yes, I have fear. I have fear because I am addressing a valley of gun owners and hunters. I have fear because of the immense retribution we will face from those who oppose this movement. But what has allowed me to get over my fear is the greater fear that our community could just as easily become the next tragedy. I am more fearful of the kind of future we face without local, state, and nationwide legislative and social transformation. It is true that gun control is a difficult issue to confront. Few other issues are as controversial or difficult to target. However, we cannot remain silent because our right to live is non-negotiable. It is the responsibility of parents. It is the responsibility of citizens. It is the responsibility of youth, and especially politicians, to make the conversation less about criticism and more about compassion. It is our responsibility to come together in unity against gun violence so that this issue goes no further. As a country, we must be willing to reevaluate our principles and compromise, because above all, we cannot halt change at the first sight of conflict when our youth is at stake. Although I have more fear of the future we will face if we don't call upon our local and national legislators to make concrete changes. Thank you.
This is initially by Bob Dylan to address the politicians around the world and instigate a change. Today I am here because I no longer want to wait for change. I want to act. Come, you masters before, you that build the big guns, you that build the death planes, you that built the big bombs, you that hide behind walls. Well, we hide under desks. I just want you to know I can see through your mask. You that never done nothing but built to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my hands and you hide from my eyes. Then you turn and run farther when the fence bullets fly. You fasten the trees for the others to fire. Then you stand back and watch when the dead fall get tired. You hide in your mansion as young people's blood flows out of the bodies and is buried in mud. You've thrown the worst fear that can never be heard. Fear to bring children into this world, for threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't worth the blood that runs in your veins. How much do I know to talk out of turn? You may say that I'm young, you may say I'm unlearned, but there's one thing I know. Though I'm younger than you, even Jesus could never forget what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Could it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? I think you will find when your death takes its toll, all the money you make can never run back your son.
Thanks, Tiernan. That was beautiful. My name is Izzy Brophy, and I'm a freshman at Fruita Monument High School. If anyone were to ask me my favorite thing about school, I'd probably say that I love the numerous opportunities I'm given and the countless pieces of knowledge that I'm able to store in my brain. But everything I loved faded away on March 7th when Fruita 8-9 and Fruita Monument High School went into lockdown due to a possible armed robbery at a nearby gas station and an anonymous tip about a possible threat to the schools. As my classmates and I ran back to the corner of the classroom with the events of Florida still fresh in our brains, we were immediately overtaken with fear. And with just seeing police cars going at high speeds down the street, I knew this wasn't an ordinary lockdown drill. This was real. Nobody knew what was going on. We didn't know that it was all precautionary. We just knew that the day we had all feared had quite possibly arrived. All we knew is that we had to depend on the door lock that became our only barrier between the possible threat and ourselves. Sitting in the cold, dark atmosphere of a class that I previously loved, my entire body began to shiver out of fear that I wouldn't be able to leave or see my family or my friends ever again. I sat huddled in a corner with my eyes closed, picturing every possible scenario that could occur in the next few hours. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm lucky to be standing here today to tell you that every student made it home safe and that the threat was unfounded, that none of us are victims of gun violence, but not every situation is like this. As we saw in Florida, Sandy Hook, and Columbine, just to name a few. Other students didn't get the all clear. They didn't get to go on Facebook and find that this was all a precaution. Thoughts and prayers are not enough, and will not eliminate the fears that students have as they walk through the halls of their school. In fact, this shouldn't be happening at all. Students shouldn't have to hear a loud noise or the sounds of lockdown, lockdown over the intercom and instantly shudder at the possibility that it's their turn. I hope that other students won't have to go through the trauma that thousands of victims of gun violence experience. One day, I hope students, including myself, don't have to shudder when we hear a loud noise at school. Change is coming, guys. I see it. Yay!
Hi, I'm Ruby Jewel Bryceberg. I go to Appleton Elementary and I am in 3rd grade. I want to be a teacher when I grow up because teachers work hard and they give students an education, and I want to be able to work hard and give students the education that they need to know stuff. And because my mom tells me every day that to change the world and no pressure, and I want to be able to teach children to change the world. I am marching here today to make sure that schools are safe, because right now they aren't very safe, and I really want to make sure that kids don't have to go through going to school and a kid having a weapon or anything. I want to make sure that kids don't have to walk out of school knowing that there was a weapon at school or someone was trying to do something. Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and I'm in 1st grade. When I grow up, I want to be president, so I can keep kids safe at school. School is important to me because it is a place to learn, to be a better person, and discover where my future will take me. Shootings at school make me feel scared and not safe. I don't want to die at school. I don't want to hide under a desk and watch my friends die either. If we don't stop the shootings, I can't grow up to change the world. I'm just a kid, but I know that the adults have failed us, and it's time for us to stand up together and raise our voices and tell them enough is enough. No more. There's nothing you can do to save us. We know you can do better. We will show you how.
Dylan for president!
My name is Emma. I'm 9 years old and I'm in 4th grade. When I grow up, I want to be a veterinarian, a paleontologist, or a wildlife biologist. And do many other things. I can't grow up to be what I want to be without school. I can't grow up to be what I want to be without my teachers. I want to grow up and make good things happen in the world. And I need to feel safe in school so I can do exactly that. I want my teachers to have support and get things like expo markers, but I don't want my teacher to have a gun in school. I want to feel excited to go to school and learn, not tell my mom I'm scared to go to school because there are guns. Instead of giving my teacher a gun, I want us to focus on kindness and making sure everyone feels okay. Help us grow up to achieve our goals by making sure guns in schools don't happen. Not now, not ever.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Can we just get another round?
Dylan for president.
Hi everyone, my name is Riley Trujillo. I'm also one of the organizers of the march, and I'm a senior at Fruita Monument High School. So just like Emma, Ruby, and Dylan, I had many dreams of what I wanted to be when I was little. My preschool graduation, and my parents will also tell you this, we were asked the same question: what do you want to be when you grow up? As we walked up to the stage in an organized fashion, the careers of doctor, astronaut, and veterinarian were all very popular. But as I approached the stage, I flipped my little blonde curls and loudly said into the mic, I want to be a waitress. My parents were so proud as I confidently and sassily strutted off the stage. Now that was 14 years ago, before I realized that being a waitress might not be the most financially stable future for me. But what made my dream so adorable is that there was no doubt or fear that I would never not be able to achieve that dream. But I hate to say that some things have changed in our society in the last 14 years. It breaks my heart to realize that maybe one of the 21st graders that were taken away from us at Sandy Hook Elementary wanted to be a waiter or waitress when they grew up. I'm sure that one of the young adults lost at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas was en route to become a doctor, astronaut, or veterinarian. Unfortunately, those innocent students were stripped of their lives and were never able to accomplish their dreams. Now, my dreams have shifted a bit over these past 14 years. I've been blessed with opportunities, and I have grown to have a passion for politics and advocating for those who may not have a voice. People always ask me, Riley, why do you care so much? Do you actually think that you're going to change anything? And sometimes I don't have the answer to these questions. Sometimes I throw my hands in the air and ask myself, why do I care? And sometimes when I watch the news coverage of another shooting that has become all too familiar, I bury my head in my hands and I cry. But let me say, after seeing 150 of my peers and friends walk out in the middle of class this week to remember the 17 lives lost at Parkland and demand stricter gun reform, it reminded me that creating change is possible. Walkout, I read a quote to my peers that says, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." And that's from Martin Luther King Jr. And like we've said, it is true that gun control is a difficult issue to confront. Few other issues are as controversial or difficult to target. However, there is no excuse to remain silent when guns are pointed at our communities, friends, and family. We believe that gun control is an inevitable solution towards curbing gun violence and mass shootings. With these beliefs in mind, we see no reason but to expect moderate, common-sense gun legislation that will prevent shootings in a timely and effective manner by helping keep the guns out of the wrong hands. We have carefully reviewed different gun control options and have decided to ask our politicians at the local, state, and national level to implement the following policies. So Scott Tipton, Cory Gardner, and President Trump, I hope you're listening. To have a sufficient and thorough background check for every single gun transfer. We must do this not just at stores, but at gun shows and online and out of the back of a pickup truck so that no one can buy a gun in America without a background check. We ask that safe storage of guns is not just an option, but an expectation. We ask that you enforce harsher punishment for violent gun crimes and that people with a history of violent outbursts, mental illness, and domestic assault are not able to obtain a lethal weapon that could put themselves or others in danger. We ask that you arm our teachers with textbooks from this century, innovative pieces of technology, and sufficient salaries for being an influential force in our assault rifle to 21. There is no logical reason that I should be able to legally purchase, own, and shoot a military-style weapon before I can legally take a drink of alcohol. And we are proud that in the state of Colorado, bump stocks have been banned. Steps in the right direction, but with implementation of these policies, combined with more developed and adequate mental health resources, we can create change. We can save lives and we can protect the dreams and see to it that if a child wants to become a doctor, astronaut, veterinarian, or even a waitress, that they can accomplish their dreams. No more fear. We've had enough. Thank you to everyone who marched with us today. Always remember these words from one of my heroes, Barack Obama. Be bold enough to think differently and be brave enough to believe that you can change the world. To all the adults who supported us today, thank you. We could not have done this without you. And to all of the students out here, we vote next. To Emma, Ruby, and Dylan, don't ever forget your dreams. Hold them close to your heart and work hard to accomplish them. We will do our best to protect you in those dreams. Thank you for inspiring us. And finally, to Scott Tipton, Cory Gardner, President Trump, and all of the people who have criticized our movement, thank you for belittling us. Thank you for calling us uneducated, immature Tide Pod eaters. Thank you for valuing the NRA more than our lives. You have also inspired us to stand up, walk out, and march. Soon vote against you and your ideals. We will vote, we will fight, and we will win.
So this song says that the voices that go unheard are the ones that are the most important. And the ones that we are forced to listen to are the ones that will eventually destroy us. To the man who freely, fully, I be the wise man. And the man who don't think he's not fully control his destiny, but you from himself. If I say no, from say all I need is something to keep me moving on in a world where violence reigns and everybody seems so sweet to me. To the man who really, fully, thought he'd be the wise man. And man who don't think he's a fully control his destiny, but he's true for himself. If I'm saying, from saying, oh, his weapons of destruction swallows people suffering and no confusion. You ain't winning if you lose some. We don't need to the man who feeling fully, thought he be the wise man. Fully control his destiny, but he's true for himself. If I'm saying, from saying, oh, his weapons of destruction swallows people suffering and no confusion. You ain't winning if you lose some. We don't need to the man who feeling fully, but we be the wise man. I fully control his destiny, but cool for himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to see so many people out here with us today, especially when there's an issue as important as climate change. Hello, everyone. Okay. I'm so glad to see so many people come out today and voice their support for common sense gun legislation. But before I go any further, I'd like to begin with a short story. The other day, I had been scrolling through Facebook and discovered a post that read, "Do your research. These students are marching because the anti-gun lobbyists have paid them to protest and march." Now yes, it may seem outlandish, and I was angry, but not necessarily because it seemed so absurd, but because I had never gotten a single dollar from the anti-gun lobbyists. I decided to look for a lawyer, maybe sue them, but then I realized that I had never signed a contract and never even spoke a word to them. And so I'm pretty sure it's the same for every person who walked out on Wednesday and for every person standing with us right now. Because we don't protest because we take bribes. We protest because we know when something is wrong. Unfortunately, it's conspiracy theories like these that we have to endure day after day after day. And when it's not a conspiracy, it's a personal insult or attack. Just the other day on social media, we received an onslaught of name-calling and lies.
For example, my peers and I were called Tide Pod eating children, as well as drug-ridden, sex-crazed idiots and morons. We were told to jump off a cliff, and physical hate mail was literally delivered to our school's address to the students organizing these events. Let me assure you, none of us are eating Tide Pods and none of us are doing drugs in our free time. None of us have done anything that solicits these hateful and hurtful words. Unfortunately, these are the things that we have to endure. But instead, we are young activists. We are people. Instead, we organize political campaigns. We drive social movements when we lead in our schools. There's nothing wrong with